I don't believe that your genotype flips. It's just the condition in which these tests are being carried out. And of course, machines are being used, and then there's also a human error as well. So when you run a test here and you see a particular genotype, say AS, and then you go to another place, you see an AA, I would recommend that you go for a third and a fourth. So that will give you a clearer view of what you have. It will give you the confirmed result. Otherwise, if you go with two, and then you are seeing one is different, the other one is different, which one are you going to choose? So at least an odd number of tests will actually give you a better view. I mean a better knowledge of your genotype. Well, apart from sickle cell, another thing that can be looked at is also resource factor in the blood group, because with the knowledge of resource factor, you also know how you go about in childbearing, so that sometimes when a woman is having miscarriage, sometimes we might see it as witchcrafty, and some people would think, oh, this woman don't want to carry the pregnancy, or she's even aborting the child. People don't look at that, but that is the place of a resource factor that should also be looked into in terms of relationship. And then, of course, the mental well-being of people is something that also should be considered, because I think insanity can be, over the years, can also be traced to like something that can be in a particular lineage. So it is something that can be considered when you are going into a relationship. You know, some of these things are like difficult things that we take it lightly, but they are very important that we look at. I saw this a doctor posted this thing on his Twitter handle. He was like, one of his early relationship questions would be, is there any form of insanity or madness running in your family? Has there been anybody with that kind of condition? And then people started lashing at him. Why would you ask someone such a question? But of course, it's very important. If you want to be with somebody forever as a partner, you care about the health of the person, and then you are caring also about the health of your offspring. So that is another thing that can also be considered when you are going into a relationship. So apart from, of course, character is very, very important. Behavior of a person, you know, there are certain attributes of a person that you know you can't deal with. There are certain attributes of someone that you know that this can be complementary to you as a person. Let's say you are a sanguine. A sanguine and a sanguine can actually not really live together well, because everybody is hyper. Both of them will be having so much energy. A lot of times this can cause a problem in relationship. So I think character is very important. Behavior of the person is very important. And then, you know, ideological differences is something that is very important that we look at when it comes to relationship. Because someone you're in a relationship with, you should have similar ideology. You should have your value system should coincide with each other. Because if there's differences in value, then I can tell you that relationship might end up being catastrophic, because the value system does not align. So these are some things that need to be looked into, and they are very important in a long-lasting relationship. Sickle cell cannot kill the chances of the carriers in having a good relationship. There are many people that have that, and they have beautiful relationship. Like I mentioned, values is what really matters. But then, in relation to sickle cell, an AA person can confidently marry an SS person or any other carrier as SC or the others. an AA person can marry them comfortably and they will live a happy life. I know this musician, Adekunle Gold. He is an SS patient. But then you can see that they have a beautiful marriage, himself and his wife, Simi, and they have a child. So that is a good example that we can look at. The fact that people are sickle cell doesn't mean that they can't have a good relationship, they can't have a beautiful home. What matters is you are with them, show them love, show them care. Because in fact, I realized that a lot of these people actually lack that love and care. That is what they really need. That will keep them going and that keeps them strong. But if we neglect them, then what are we doing? Are we making the society better? Or we are even making it worse? Because imagine somebody going through such kind of a challenge that they did not bargain for. The least you can do is to care for them. The least you can do is to show them love and to show them that you are always there for them. And it will get to the time, because of course there are treatments that can be administered to them and that reduces their crisis and they are able to continue with their life as normal human beings. Of course, they are all normal human beings. All they need is that love that everyone deserves. Nigeria being the highest with the number of sickle cell babies is a thing of concern. It is something that needs to be looked into properly. Like I mentioned earlier, you see the place of negligence, the fact that some people know and yet they go ahead and marry each other, that should be frowned at. And in fact, if possible, there should be a law forbidding that. Secondly is the place of not checking at all. Because if you know your genotype and you know a prospective partner's genotype, then you should be able to avoid that. Also, when you are starting a relationship, it is very important that you ask the question, what is your genotype? With that, it will help you to be able to avoid getting into a serious relationship, let alone getting married and giving birth to a child who is a sickle cell patient. Another thing I believe and I think should be done is aggressive sensitization. Aggressive sensitization. That can help people a lot because there are people that don't even know that they are carriers. There are people that they don't know that they need to even go and check their blood group. They need to go and run any genotype test before getting into marriage. They believe they are strong and then they can just live their life, you know? So these are things that should be done to reduce this number. Remote areas especially, people that are not educated need this knowledge. Because I realize that these are the people that give birth to these children the more, especially in the core northern parts of this country, where a child is just being betrothed to someone and then the person is just being married. There's no any medical checkup. That is why my friend who is working in the medical facility there will complain every day. I see him posting it on his WhatsApp status, and sometimes we are talking and then he will be like, guy, I'm tired of all this. I'm tired of all this. I don't know why this parent will be giving birth to children like this. What I see is that there's no proper sensitization. There's no proper awareness for people like that. That is why this number is on the high side. So if the Nigerian healthcare professionals can go into proper sensitization, and then also individuals can go into proper sensitization, and NGOs as well can go into that, it will help a great deal in curbing this number. Crisis management, I believe the crisis differs from one person to the other. basically. So as health practitioners, I would advise that there should be more attention to these patients, and also there should be more research, because when you are dealing with patients differs, and as they are having their crisis, when this person, someone might be able to endure the pain to a certain level. Another person, little pain, will get them screaming and shouting. It doesn't mean that the person that is able to endure the pain and is not screaming and shouting is not feeling the pains. Some of them are going through that excruciating pains. But we need proper attention, give them proper attention, listen to them, and learn how to administer these things to them. You know, yeah, someone might tell you, this is not working for me. Of course, it is his system. He knows what is going on in his system. You are a healthcare provider. You are a care provider as a person. You should know that you are there. You are not the one going through the pains. It is this person that is going through the pains. The patient goes through that pains, and you should pay attention to them. So if we can pay attention to these individuals, it will help us to even have more knowledge. You know, I have a problem with the Nigerian doctors. Sometimes the doctors feel like, oh, this is something I've been dealing with for a period of time. I've been dealing with this for years. So I have the experience, I know what to administer to this person. And it can be worse in some situation where the moment someone comes with a crisis, they feel this is the drug I'm to give this person, this is the drug I'm to give this person. And then they just administer a drug to this patient, and then it is not working on the patient. Some of them are used to certain drugs and they know that this will not work, and maybe they just complain that, no, doctor, I've used this one, it's not working. The doctor might feel, no, I know this should work for you. You know, why will you enforce a treatment on your patient when you could actually give a better option, something that can work on the patient? So I believe doctors should also pay attention to their patient, listen to them, know how they are going through this situation. Sometimes there are peculiar situations. There are peculiar situations that can come that it has not been, or in all your years of experience, you've not even experienced that. Not necessarily with sickle cell patients only, in the medical health generally. There are certain times that, you know, a doctor is attending to a patient and he will be like, no, I have not seen this. This is strange. This is strange. We've been hearing a lot of testimonies like that. So if you pay attention to your patients, I believe that's why you ask for medical history, so that you know what is going on. So if you pay attention to them, you listen to them talk, you listen to them tell you what drugs have been working for them, the ones that have not been working for them, it will help you. And with that, you can use that in that process and do more of a research. And you could, in fact, come up with a permanent solution to those problems. So that is what I would recommend, that doctors pay attention. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the practice of giving care. You could make a mistake. You might see situations that are unique, that you've never experienced before, and that will help you better. One thing I know is that the fight is not easy, but what I would say is keep fighting. Remain strong and try as much as possible to use your medication. Because I know that there are some that it will get to a point that will be like, I'm tired. These drugs are not helping me. And then you feel exhausted using the drugs, and because of the side effects of the drugs as well. So because of that, you feel exhausted at some point. But what I will advise you to do is never give up. Never give up. Keep praying, keep using your medication and God will intervene. You'll be happy that you're using your drugs. Another thing I would say is please and please. It is not easy for those people who are caring for you as well. So always remember that there are people that are caring for you. There are people that love you. And see that they love you genuinely and they want you to live. If you don't even see any reason to live, remember that there are people that want to see you live and they are happy having you around. So fight the fight and keep fighting it. My name is Nankpak Kumzwang. I am an education officer with Stephanos Foundation. Stephanos Foundation, of course, is it's a non-governmental organization that cares particularly for victims of attack, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. But of course, our reach is extended to the southwest and southeastern parts of the country, where we will give help to victims of attacks that have been going on in the country in place of education, trauma care, relief materials in terms of food and non-food items, and in so many other ways we deem it fit as an organization to reach out. So generally, I would say we as individuals, we should always care for people around us. We should always give a helping hand to people that need it. There's this song I love so much which says, heal the world, make it a better place. You know, how can we heal the world? Is by showing kindness to one another. The world is full of people who are damaged, people who are struggling. The best you can do is to show an act of kindness. You can put a smile on someone's face in any way possible. Don't add to their difficult situation. That is my advice to us as individuals to make this world a better place. For somebody who is going through a difficult situation and to stigmatize them by saying they are walking corpse, that is very sad. It is not something that should be coming out of our mouth as individuals. We should be thinking of how can we help them, how can we make them feel comfortable, even with the kind of pains and difficult situations they are going through. So, nobody has a time limit for you to say, oh, they are walking corpses, they can die any moment. Every one of us can die at any time. When your time reaches, you will die. None of us have come to this world to live forever. So these individuals, they are fighters, and the best they need from us is words of encouragement, support, rather than stigmatization. I know our system has a way of stigmatizing people. So we shouldn't let that consume us. Let us stop the stigmatization and let us stretch forth a helping hand.